Atomic Blonde is a 2017 American action thriller film based on the 2012 graphic novel The Coldest City, which revolves around a spy who has to find a list of double agents that is being smuggled into the West on the eve of the collapse of the Berlin Wall in 1989. The film is directed by David Leitch in his first solo directorial credit and is written by Kurt Johnstad. Atomic Blonde had its world premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival on March 12, 2017 and was theatrically released in the United States on July 28 by Focus Features. It grossed $100 million worldwide and received generally positive reviews from critics. Many compared the film to John Wick series, for which Leitch has an uncredited co-director and producer of the first film, and a sequel is now in development. The cast includes Charlize Theron as Lorraine Broughton, a top-level MI6 field agent, James McAvoy as David Percival, a maverick MI6 Berlin station's chief who is assigned to assist Lorraine in her mission, John Goodman as Emmett Kurtzfeld, a senior CIA agent working with MI6, Til Schweiger as the watchmaker, a mysterious neutral character who crafts special watches hiding codes inside, Eddie Marsden as Spyglass, a Stasi director who gives a list to Gascoigne, Sofia Boutella as Delphine Lassalle, an undercover French agent, Roland Møller as Alexander Brevovich, a high-ranking Russian KGB operative in Berlin, and Toby Jones as Eric Ray, Lorraine's MI6 superior. An adaptation of the graphic novel The Coldest City was announced in May 2015. Described by Variety as a passion project for Theron, she first came across the story 5 years prior when her production company, Denver and Delilah Productions, was sent a then unpublished graphic novel. Theron's interest in the first John Wick movie inspired her to get David Leitch, one of the directors, to helm the project. Leitch eventually left John Wick Chapter 2 to direct this film. According to Theron, the success of the Mad Max Fury Road helped guide the development of Atomic Blonde. The film features a bisexual subplot that was not in the original graphic novel. This came from writer Kurt Johnstad, who suggested it after Theron was thinking about how to make this different from other spy movies. Leitch had insisted that the scenes are not there to be provocative, but more about if you're a spy, you will do whatever it takes to get information, and how the main character finds her intimacies and her friendships in small doses. Theron's casting as the lead was announced in May 2015, while James McAvoy was announced in that October. In November, John Goodman was also reported to be in talks to join the film. It was originally hoped that David Bowie would play the part in the film, although he turned down the offer shortly before his death. To prepare for the role, Theron worked with 8 personal trainers who basically made her puke every single day, as she said. During the process, Theron cracked her teeth from clenching her jaw and had to get them fixed in surgery. She also bruised her rib during training. As Theron's training for the movie overlapped with Keanu Reeves' training for the John Wick Chapter 2, the two developed a competitive relationship, which included sparring together. Now, one thing that stands out for me in this film is the soundtrack, and from the start Lynch felt that using the right songs for the project was crucial. Part of this was attempting to answer the question, how do you reinvent the stuffy Cold War spy movie? The soundtrack uses a combination of 1980s songs as well as covers of them. The latter was used to add a contemporized feeling of the 80s. The movie's producers were initially worried that they would not be able to get the rights to all the songs that Lynch wanted to use, but Lynch himself estimated that around 75% of his picks made it into the final product. Though the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, the concentration of iconic songs was from the first half of the 1980s, with the exception of George Michael's 1988 chart topper, Father Figure. Now, I haven't always been the biggest fan of Charlize Theron. I don't even know why, but for some reason she just put me off. I mean, she's always been a competent actress, with some standout performances, notably Monster, for which she won the Academy Award for, playing serial killer Eileen Warnes. But she's also had some bad choices. And maybe it's just because at one stage she was completely overhyped. In saying that though, this is a fantastic performance, and she fits this role perfectly, as she's really carved out a niche in the action film role category. She brings a suave sophistication to her ass-kicking roles, and this is one of the better ones I've seen her in. You could see this project was made with love and a lot of appreciation for the original graphic novel work. Also, adding some of the modern doses to this classic Cold War spy thriller really makes it stand out. As I mentioned, I absolutely love the soundtrack, and it fits perfectly within the setting, and the fight scenes are hard-hitting, well-paced and intense without going fully over the top. Theron is so believable in every fight scene that you feel the pain that she's in as she struggles to fight off all these various characters. Having an excellent actor like James McAvoy in the film also adds to it, as he provides a realism to the enigmatic, complex character he plays. I love the lighting and the use of dark shades intertwined with bright pastel colours. I look forward to seeing where the film series goes next. Now, this is purely a spy action flick, but with a bit more depth, and because of the setting and the very complicated, very real Soviet Union at the end of the Berlin Wall being brought down, adds a genuine credence to it. It's well made, and it never tries to be more than it really is. At the heart of it, it's basically a spy movie with a lot of good action sequences. And Theron understands this perfectly, as she brings a nuanced, fleshed-out performance to her character. Atomic Blonde gets a 7.5 out of 10.